Guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing, I guess I'm just going to be talking about all of my ride or die brushes. These are the brushes that I use in every single makeup look that I do. And they change sometimes, but rarely. I'm pretty connected to my brushes. I'm pretty attached. Some of these are on the higher end, some of these are on the lower end. So it really does go to show that sometimes the cost of a brush doesn't necessarily define its quality. So yeah, I'm not going to ramble because I could ramble. I'm going to do brows first because that's the least amount of brushes that I have. I only have 3 for brows. So I actually have 2 angled brushes that I use. This is an Anastasia brush, but I've used it so much that the number is so worn off. I think it's just the number 12. It might also just be the number 2. I'm not totally sure. But it looks like this. I use it to actually apply the eyebrow gel that I wear. And then what I use this thicker one for, and this is the SEPHORA Pro Brow, the number 20. That's funny. 20 and 21. I feel like that always happens to me. So I use this to go in with a brow powder after I have done my brows. And it just kind of softens everything and it makes it look a little bit less rough. And then I also have a brush that I use to conceal under the brows and make everything look nice and perf. And this is just a Royale and Langnickle OMNIA BOM18 detail brush. This is perfect for just getting concealer right under there and perfectly shaping that brow exactly how you want it. So now jumping into eyes. I actually don't have as many as you would think for eyes, but I actually use several of these brushes for more than one purpose. I have a little brush cleaner thing. So I have this. It's just from Ulta. I think I paid $8 or $9 for it, and it's just one of those brush cleaners. It has a wet sponge that goes here, but I think Landon got a hold of it and lost it. So my favorite brush out of all of my eye brushes is my MAC 242. If you have watched any one of my videos, you know that this is in all of them. If I'm doing makeup, if I'm putting makeup on my face, I'm using this brush because I use it for my lid, I use it for under the brow, I use it for the inner corner, I use it sometimes for under the eye. I literally use this brush for everything. I love this brush. I actually have owned this brush for a really long time. It was one of the first higher end brushes I actually ever purchased, and I just love her. The MAC 242, you guys, is bomb. If you don't own it, it's a staple. It's a staple brush. I use it every day. If I can't find a MAC 242, we're in trouble. The next one is a Featherweight crease brush. This is from the SEPHORA collection. It's number 38. I use it usually clean to blend out what I've already applied. That, or if I want my shadow to be very soft and not super pigmented, if I'm just using a bronzer for the day, I'll use this guy. I don't recommend using it if you want to get really precise with where you are placing color because it's really big and it won't work for what you want it to work for. But it's amazing. It's amazing. The next 2 are LUXIE brushes, and they're essentially the same brush. This one's called a blending brush, and this one's called a tapered blending brush. The regular blending is number 237, and the tapered is 229. So the blending brush I use under my eye, and that's really the only place that I use it because it is very small and precise, and I don't like to take shadow too low. This allows me to get it in nice and high up on the waterline without it being too, brought down, because that can make you look tired, especially because I use a lot of warm tone colors on my lower lash line, like reds and oranges, and if I were to pull them down too far, it would actually make me look tired and worn out. But then the taper blending I use for precise placement of pigment. It is perfect. It's nice and dense, but it's not too dense where it packs it on and makes it look patchy. My next blending brush is a MAC 286 brush. This brush I like, honestly, just because it applies pigment so beautifully. It is really, really good at just naturally blending. You don't really have to do a whole lot of work with this brush. So this is a really awesome brush for just quick makeup. I also will use this for bronzers and use it on the eye if I, again, don't want to wear a whole lot of makeup that day. So this is kind of my no makeup eyeshadow brush. Alright, my last eye brush is from Morphe. It's an R43. It's just a really small, precise brush. I will use this if I want to get really, really close to my lash line on the lower or on the upper, because I can use it in place of eyeliner, or I can use it to blend in and really soften and smoke out my eyeliner. I use it when I do cut creases to blend out where I create the crease. It has a lot of uses. It's just really nice, and again, dense, super precise, and it's not big, so it's really easy to control where you're putting pigment, and I love that with an eyeshadow brush. Alright guys, so the last brushes that I'm going to go into are obviously my face brushes. I actually don't feel like I use an excessive amount of face brushes. Keep in mind, I use beauty sponges for like my foundation and stuff generally, but these are the ones that I use like every single day. So I'm just going to discuss these with you, and I probably should have washed all of them. I washed most of my brushes before I did this video, but I was just like kind of last minute like I'm going to do a brush video, I think. I just used a lot of them to do my makeup. So some of these might be clean and some of these might be dirty. Don't judge me, okay? So this is the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush. It's the 2 double-sided, whatever you want to call it, one. This one is for contouring. This one is for highlighting, and when I say highlighting, it's not like this kind of highlighting, it's like here kind of highlighting, but you can use it for however you want. I've definitely used this brush to highlight here. I've used it to set my under eye. I've used it for a lot of stuff, actually. I don't really use the contour side too very much. I don't really like thinner brushes like this for contouring personally, but this side is life, just saying. This one's kind of interesting because my first Morphe purchase for brushes was just like a set, and I think I paid like $30 for it, and all the brushes that I received didn't have like names or anything. They just literally say Morphe on them, so I was like, did I get like fake brushes? Like, I was so confused. But some of the cheaper, or excuse me, less expensive kits on Morphe are just like cheap brushes, so I've had a lot of them fall apart on me. I've had a lot of them like break here where the handle comes off or the brush head comes off or whatever. I do have shedding with this brush really bad, but I still like the application, so it's like tolerable, you know what I mean? So this is just a Morphe brush basically, and I don't know the name of it, to be honest. I'll try to link the kit if it's still available down below. I use it for contouring. It allows me to be really precise but also really blended, and it like gets the upper parts of my forehead really well, like so my hairline is nice and blended, so I just really like it for contouring. But I don't know if you can buy this like single because it's one of their cheapo brushes. I think you can only get it in like the set, so I'll look into it and I'll let you guys know. Alright, this is also a Morphe brush. This is an S19 brush. This is just a really fluffy brush. This is something that I use for bronzing. I have had to put this brush back together. It's fallen apart on me here, and I've had to glue it back together a couple of times, so it's like kind of an inconvenience, but it's like whatever. I really like this brush, and it's just super easy to blend. You can use it for powder if you want. It has multiple uses. It's just like a fluffy kind of like Kabuki type brush. My next one is another Luxie brush. This is a 512. This is a small contouring brush. I actually use this for my blush. I'll just take it and kind of go along the line with my contour and like right on the apples of my cheeks, and it just applies blush so beautifully. I actually have 2 blush brushes that I kind of switch between. So this is the one that I've been using really regularly right now. This is a Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush. If you have ever watched a Jaclyn Hill video in your life, you've heard of this brush. This is just a flat Kabuki, like it says, and I use this to apply powder to all over my lid and then underneath my eye to prepare for eyeshadow. I use like just a loose powder, or I really like the Kat Von D powder foundation. Sometimes I'll use that because it's like very smoothing under there. But that's what I use this guy for, primarily, is that. The other blush brush I was talking about is a MAC 187. It is a Kabuki brush as well. It's literally stained this way. I just washed it, but I've been using it for blush for so many years that it is stained pink. When you buy it, the top is white, I promise you. Alright guys, my very last brush that I want to talk about today is a fan brush. This is also a Morphe brush. This is the R12. This guy's taken a little bit of a beating, but he's my friend. I love this brush for highlighting. It just applies highlight so gorgeously, just blends it out really nicely. I freaking love this brush. I use a lot of Morphe brushes. I mentioned this before, but I did get my website up and running. It's ashleywardmakeup.com. Go check it out. Make sure you subscribe. There'll be good stuff coming your way if you do. And make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm putting out videos every Tuesday and Friday, like guaranteed, Tuesday, Friday. I didn't want to commit to days. I was nervous about committing to days at first when I first started going back into YouTube, but it just works out best. If you enjoyed watching me ramble on about my brush collection, make sure you thumbs up this video as well. It helps me out a lot. Thanks so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Okay, it's getting too late. So, what did I just do with the brush? Oh, here it is. Okay. I have to sneeze. Do I have to sneeze? I guess I don't have to sneeze. Normally I would. Whoop.